What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Endless, here to bring you week 6 of LTM versus Freedo. If you don't like spoilers for last week, go check it out, because in about 5 seconds I'm going to reveal what happened. So unfortunately, we took a really big loss to Aimel last week, 4-0, which was really nullified a lot of the differential we gained from being Jesse 5-0 the week before. However, we're still 3-2 plus 4, so not a bad spot to be in the standings. And this week we're taking on another 3-2 coach, Freedo. For Freedo, he's one of the nicest people I've ever met on Wi-Fi. He's always been a joy to schedule with, always been really accommodating. Even for EDC, he let me use his footage week 1 because my capture card screwed up. So just an awesome guy, and a solid battle or two, with a pretty cool team here. So the first thing you'll notice on his side is probably the Terra Mammal Swine, and yeah, that's kind of a problem. If he goes Terra Fire or Electric, he just smokes past Skarmory, and then I don't really have another response. So I think one of those is pretty likely. I don't really see any other types that make much sense here. I guess maybe like Poison. Again, like Poison's kind of okay to me for like Okidogi. If he thinks Empoleon's enough to handle Hisuian Braviary, you could bring Poison Mammo, but I don't know. Heracross is pretty scary. Has a Guts Close Combat, does 2 KO Skarm, unless I'm like I'm pretty sure if I'm Boots and like I'm at exactly full, I can take it, but it's not like ideal. And of course, Scarf Moxie, Scarf Moxie sits in the late game can eventually be a problem. Sylveon is not the best here. Like, it's an okay Braviary check, but really, like, the only stat I'm scared of is offensive. Hyper Voice is not fun for me to switch into. Outside Tentacruel, who gets smoked by Psyshock if it specs. Empoleon feels like a mandatory bring here just for Hisuian Braviary because it kind of smokes him otherwise. Doesn't really have much else you can do about it. Yeah, that's pretty big. Serena's like a thing I can calm, I guess. I don't think that's a great matchup to me. I don't think it has much purpose here outside maybe checking Electrode, but I feel like Kilowattress does a better job at that anyway. Delphox definitely annoying. Fire plus Psychic Stabs hit me pretty hard, but I do have some mons I can take it on. I'm not super scared of it. The one said that's going to be kind of annoying is Scarf, but like, again, if it's Scarf, I have ways to deal with it. Then we have a Kilowattrel. This mon, it's really fast, which is annoying because Electro has a terrible matchup here, so it's going to have to be my whole team. And as we've seen for the whole season, my electric checks are not great, especially one with like Stab Hurricane to smack Electrode and Sandaconda. So I do think Kilowattrel is pretty likely to come this game. Collector's interesting. It's like, I guess if you run AV, it's a check to Hisuian Typhlosion, which he doesn't really have otherwise. And like Specs, it's an okay breaker here. I don't think it's the best because, Tentacruel kind of shits on it, but, and a Grimmsnarl also, like if I'm fat, I can like make it so if he walks into Dragon Pulse or Dark Pulse, I can take advantage of that with free screens. But it can definitely come. Muck is here as the Okidogi check. There's no way around that. If he does not bring Muck, Bulk of Okidogi 6-0s his ass. So Muck is coming for that reason. Even if it's not the best Okidogi check, it's all he got. So that's going to be a mon that shows up. And Flap was a Pokemon that does not exist, and as a result, we don't need to waste time talking about it. On my end, Okidogi's matchup is crazy. I mean, like if I go fat with a neutral Terra type and just starts to get bulk ups, like he does not much he can do about it. He really doesn't. Yeah, that's really it. Skarm has to come here because Mammo is a problem otherwise. He still has a problem with it. I was considering benching Skarm, but realistically, I need an Earthquake switch in. I just can't go with that one. Tentacruel's okay. I don't love it into Empoleon, but it is a Sylveon check. It's not the worst thing ever here. Switches into Quietser. Kamei switch into Heracross once if all close combat or a Megahorn. Electrode's terrible here. It's not coming. Like, yes, the stabs are okay, but Serena, Kilowattrel, it's not coming. It's so bad here. Hisuian Typhlosion looks great. His Eruption switches are pretty limited. Sure, Empoleon only takes like 40, but he's going to get worn down, and with some hazards, it gets 2 KO'd. I just picked that Mamoswine once it Terras, but if I force the Terra on that early, that's really nice. Quietser can switch in, but I don't think Quietser is that likely in this game. Even if it does, like, it's not that worrying. I can wear it down. So Typhlosion is here, it's good to do one thing Typhlosion does, which is Quick Eruption. Hisuian Braviary it's solid here, but Empoleon kind of shits on it. Mamoswine Ice Shard's also really annoying. It's not the best. He also has physical attackers out speed and kind of smoke it, so it's not, unfortunately for the second week in a row, it's not a great Braviary matchup. Then we have a Grimmsnarl. Grimmsnarl is, its screens are useful. Doesn't really do much else here. I can't run Parting Shot, obviously, because Empoleon Kilowattrel getting to +3 special attack is a problem. Yes, but screens are nice, helps me not die to stuff. Sneasel, Sneasel is very good here offensively. Knockoff plus Triple Axle hits really hard. Obviously, I don't love having to rely on Triple Axle, but sometimes that's how it goes. It's pretty sure Triple Axle. I may have a nice crash, but I'm pretty sure Triple Axle. Yeah, but it's just solid here as a breaker and a cleaner. Sandaconda, it's okay. I could run a similar set to what I have before, expecting a ground resistant, a ground weak physical attacker and run the resist berry, but I don't know. It doesn't. I don't love it. I guess it switches into Kilo and Delphox and Spadef and helps Strix Heracross, but it's not great here. Ampharos is pretty bad here. It's 2 electric communities, and there's no one type that really smacks both of them. Plus Serena, Ampharos isn't working. And Spidops can't come because he is competitive Empoleon and a really good spinner, so Spidops is not going to do shit. That said, let's get into the build itself. So first up, we do see Okidogi here. Pretty standard set, just max HP, max attack, lefties, with, what is it? Yeah, with free attacks and bulk up, Drain Punch, Psychic Fangs, hit the team really hard. Whoa, oh shoot. I did not mean to do that. 1 second, let me check with my spread. Sorry, see it, but... Spread. Right. There we go. Sorry, everyone. That was awkward. So yeah, Drain Punch, Psychic Fangs, team really hard. Psychic Fangs specifically here to smack the Muck, because Muck's his only real check to this. Also helps if something sets up screens like Sylveon or Serena or Delphox, just in case. I could run high horsepower, but I figured Psychic Fangs gets the KOs I need anyway on Muck, and we'll have to risk missing. Terra Blast is very big here, and you see his Terra Ghost. Ghost is just super good into him. Like, he has to have a Ghost type, he has to have a Dark type, so his best way to kind of hit is like knock off Heracross, which is not ideal. So Ghost just kind of sits on most of the team really well. I guess Dark Pulse Quieter, but I don't think it really needs to run Dark Pulse here anyway, if it comes. So yeah, just a very neutral Terra type, Terra Blast, because I do need Ghost move to actually hit the Delphox. And also it's just pretty free quick into most things. It's strong, hits things neutrally that Drain Punch doesn't. It's good. Terra, Ghost, Okidogi is really good. Let me see. Can I get rid of this ad? Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to show you guys a military ad, but there we go. So yeah, pretty simple Okidogi. We've seen this a lot this season. Nothing too crazy. Next up, we do have Skarmory. It's full Viz Def because there is a Mamoswine and a Heracross. Dropek is my flying stab of choice because it does Oko Heracross after rocks, I believe, or at least gets it low enough that it dies to Flame Orb pretty quickly. And then for everything else, pretty much just Body Press. Body Press is pretty good here. Obviously, he has some resist, but it's really helpful for Mamoswine damage, for Empoleon. He has some, and even for Klutzer. Yes, he has fighting resist. Don't take damage from Dropek, but those mons are not staying in on anyway, so that's not really a big deal. I guess it could be nice to go Steel move for Sylveon, but Flying Stab is way too vital here into the Heracross matchup. Then we have Rocks and Roost. Rocks are very important. Even though the only ones we see are Delphox and Kilowattrel, I don't think Delphox is boost if it comes, so I definitely need a Rocks up there. And also just chipping everything down is really nice, especially the Heracross, because if it's Flame Orb, it takes now 18.75% on entry instead of just 12.5, instead of 6.25 from the Flame Orb. And they're just useful. Yeah, obviously chip damage is always helpful. And a spinner, I can always come in on a spinner with Skarmory and fighting out with Dropek, so we can't really remove the rocks very easily. Next up, we have Scarf. Scarf Typhlosion, doing Scarf Typhlosion things. The speed here is for Heracross. So, unfortunately, if this was a regular Typhlosion, I could run Modest, but here's what it is. So, Eruption hits Max Team, Shadow Ball to hit, like, Delphox. And then Fire Blast and Flamethrower in case my health is lower. Like, it's a Typhlosion. It doesn't have a big move pool. It clicks Fire moves, it clicks Ghost moves, we call it a day. After that, we do have a Grimmsnarl here. Pretty basic Grimmsnarl set, just screens player of Taunt, Spadef to take on the Delphox and the Kilowattrel. I'm not Spirit Break because even though player can miss, I don't want to trigger competitive. That's really bad. Same reason I'm not Party Shot on the set. Taunt is here because I'm actually really worried about his rocks into my team with Scarf Typhlosion, as we'll see later. Non-boots. Never mind. But a non-boost Typhlosion obviously wants to not be taking chip. So I want to, the plan is always to weed this, and I think Empoleon's pretty likely we with rocks. I'm just gonna taunt it turn 1, prevent it from, doing rock stuff. And everything else on my team pressures it really well, which makes it really hard for it to get them up later in the game. Also, sorry if I don't remember everything about this build. I've already played week 7 as of recording this, just because of the way his schedule lined up, so I might be getting slightly mixed up, but that's okay. Next up, we have Sneasel. Pretty basic set. There's the speed for Delphox, and we just have boots, knockoff, triple axle, low kick, ice shard, pickpocket, because there's nothing here that flinches or intimidates me, so might as well just have the option if I get knocked off. Following up, I forgot to mention Okidogi's Toxic Chain for this game for the first time in a while, because there's no intimidators. I said it was Toxic Chain for his Aimel, but I've heard a lot of Guard Dog this season. However, with no intimidators and not much phasing, I think Toxic Chain is pretty nice. Gain to eventually poison something like Empoleon, Delphox, even the Clydeser could be nice. So Sneasel is just 3 attacks, speed for Delphox, nothing too crazy, and Ice Shard because I need something to hit the Kilowattrel and the Scarf Mamoswine. I'll say Scarf Mamoswine won't take that much damage, but it's something at least. Also helps with a Scarf Heracross, the Swords, defensive close combat, stuff like that. I didn't love low kick here, but it is my best move to hit like Mamoswine pre-Terra. Also helps with his Empoleon decently, so it's fine. Ideally, I don't want to be clicking it, though. I want to just be spamming my stabs every time. And lastly, we do Sandaconda. And even though I say Smash isn't great as like a usual set, this is a very funny set, and hopefully it works. It is Shedskin Lefty's Coil. I believe this is the first time I've run set up Sandaconda, even though like it's the most famous set on like Smogon Coil sets. Because I didn't think it had a lot of great matchups, but this one does. Earthquake, Hurricane, Coil, Rock Slide, just hits the team really hard. Hurricane, actually, I believe it does like 80% minimum to Heracross, even with the minus special attack. No, it does like 60% minus special attack, like a little bit more valid, but it doesn't change as a 2-hit KO. And because I don't take that much at +1, I can easily fire that off. As well, on top of that, Hurricane is 91% accurate once I have a coil boost, and 100% if I get 2 coil boosts. So that means it's pretty likely to hit the Heracross, which is really nice. Also allows me to break down Serena, because it's probably going to be Fizz Death this game, if it comes. And as it usually is. And then Earthquake is obviously going to stab. Rock Slide and Last Slide for Kilowattrel so I can hit it. I was considering Scale Shot to get the speed boost, but Scale Shot at +1 isn't like reliable enough to hit Kilowattrel. I was worried about it being like Specs Hurricane. So I just ran Rock Slide to hit it. Scale Shot would have been cool. It's definitely the funnier version of the set, but Rock Slide seemed a bit more reliable. And I'd say probably with Stone Edge, because if I have a coil boost, it's always gonna hit. But again, that's just like hindsight. So yeah, that's the team. We got Bulk Up, Terra goes to Okidogi, Fizz Def Scarm with Drill Peck as a flying move, which is kind of unusual. Standard Scarf Typhlosion, Screens, Grimstar, not writing any stat warriors because of the 2 competitive mons. And with Taunt to prevent rocks early game. Boots Sneasel with free attacks Ice Shard, and the really cool Hurricane plus 2 more attacks Coil Sandaconda with a lot of SPDF investment. So with that, that's the team builder. Let's hop into the game. And here we are with the battle versus Freedo. As I said before, we're both 3-2, so this game's pretty important for both of us. Let's see if we can bring home a win. I guess we'll search in a second. There we go. As always, we're going to pause on preview here. So as Terra Captains both came, we see Terra Ground Mamoswine, which I did not expect at all. I don't think that makes much sense as a Skarmory, but it's here. And a Terra Dragon Clydeser, which could be a bit annoying, but with a SPDF Grimstar, it shouldn't be much of a threat. Also see Delphox, Heracross, Empoleon, and Muck. The bottom 2 we knew had to come to check Okidogi and History and Braviary. Heracross is pretty obvious here because it's top mon for a reason. And Delphox is here, which makes sense. I don't have the best responses to it. The big thing we don't see, though, is Kilowattrel. I really thought it would come over the Clydeser, and no Kilowattrel is amazing. My team is very weak to electric, as we know, so not having to deal with that is great. It also means my Sneasel is the fastest mon on the field, which is awesome. For Mons he didn't bring, he is missing Serena here, meaning if my rocks go up, they stay up. As well as no Sylveon, which it didn't have the best matchup, but I thought it could have come with like a spec set. And no Flapple, which makes sense because that mon is dog shit. So, pretty simple, pretty true expected. A bit of a weird Terra type on a Mamoswine, but I think it's a beneficial one for us, so let's get into the game. Let's go right down my team, then we will lead off with the planned league of Okie Dokie. Grimstall. Planned league of Grimstall. There he is with the Sylviania's card, which, you know, that's kind of funny because he didn't bring it. Leads with Chad the Kleitzer, and I'm just going to lead with Grimstall. So I'm just going to light screen because this thing doesn't really frighten me. I mean, yes it does, that's why I like to, but like, it can't do anything to stop me, so why would I do anything else? And there's no point taunting this thing, it has no useful status moves in its kit. It's just going to flip turn on the Grimstall, revealing its, I believe that reveal is minus attack, which makes sense, you know, good to know. And in comes Poseidon the Empoleon. And this is why we brought Taunt. This is exactly why we brought Taunt. So I'm pretty sure I just click it here because I don't want Stealth Rocks going up. Yeah, I just click Taunt. Because like, rocks are really bad for me. It feels like I'm forced to switch, so I kind of need to. I do get that play correct because he attempts to rock. And I'm just going to go into Okie Dokie because this thing doesn't really do anything to me behind white screen. He clicks Brick Break though, removing the screens, which is kind of cool. I have to admit, I do like that tech. It's a really good Grimstall response, because obviously Grimstall can't like party shot Alice, so you do that. But I'm just going to bulk up, because even without the screen, this thing doesn't really frighten me. Like, at all. So I'm just going to bulk up here. As he clicks Flip Turn. Does a tiny bit of chip damage. I'm going to heal most of that off with the lefties. And we are going to see what he brings in on this, because now I am at +1, so he's not in a great spot. The Quitzer comes back in here. And I'm just going to quick Drain Punch. No reason to waste my Terra now, because if I go Terra goes and he Dark Pulses, yeah, it's really risky. Whereas now he can't really do anything special to me, you know, he just, it's Water Pulse. You know, it's going to hurt, but not the other one. So I'm calculating, you know, making sure I can afford to, you know, do this play. I am just going to quick Drain Punch. As you're going to see here, I get a huge crit, which Oko, so we've done about 75 without it. So that's obviously big, means Okie Dokie is back at full instead of taking a hefty chunk from a Water Pulse. And puts him in a really tough position. Does bring back the Empoleon. Simulate Chop Hole, but again, it doesn't do anything back to me that I'm worried about. So I'm going to quick Drain Punch. He has to be Fizz Def Chop Hole, it takes like 60. He's actually going to quick Roar, which I was very surprised about because Roar does not work on Guard Dog Okie Dokie, and I had not reviewed. Well, I guess I haven't had a chance to reveal Toxic Chain. But just, it shows that he probably just didn't know Roar doesn't work. This is a really weird Okie Dokie check in that case because he can't really do anything back to me otherwise, but works out for him since I do get forced out because I'm running Toxic Chain in this game. So, fair enough. And I think I'm just gonna, yeah, I set my rocks here. I've seen this thing full set, it doesn't brand me at all, so might as well quick rocks. This would Flip Turn again, so fair enough. Again, it reveals I'm Fizz Def Scarm because it does like virtually nothing, but that's fine with me. And in comes the Delphox. Yeah, Delphox is gonna take rocks, so I'm very happy I set those up. And I'll get a little health back with lefties, of course. And now I'm just gonna go Grimstall because this thing doesn't really frighten me, and I can just get up a free white screen. Even though I don't do much back of it because I don't have Dark Stab, that's fine because I can just pivot around it after. This with Flamethrower does a decent amount, reveals no boosting item, so it makes me think it's probably Scarf at this point. Because it's like 2.2 special attack, no boosting. So I'm just gonna light screen here because like I'm not too scared of this thing. He is going to go back out to Empoleon, so I guess he wants to Brick Break, but I can take advantage of that play. Here, I believe I just go out to... Yeah, I just go out to Okie Dokie because, like, I don't eat a hit, and if he doesn't Brick Break, if he Brick Breaks, I get a free bulk up. If he doesn't, I get to keep my light screen up. And we see he doesn't, so I do get to keep up my light screen. And in comes Heracross. Gonna take some rocks, and I'll get some lefties, and reveal I'm faster, which is big. And it takes the Flame Orb. At least I think I'm faster. I think that's how it works. Maybe that's not the order it works. I don't remember. Actually, no, I don't think it is. I think it's just the items have different times they proc. I'm just going to Terra here and Psychic Fangs. This allows me to take an Earthquake, neutralize a Facade, and the really strong moves he can handle me. Even if he clicks Knockoff, which is a crackhead play, I do live that hit from this health, guaranteed. He doesn't back click Knockoff, but he does crit me. So crit for crit, I crit the Quetzal earlier, and he crits my Okidogi, which is unfortunate because it does mean the Heracross gets to stay alive, and I don't just get off the Psychic Fangs to Oko it, which would have been nice. But such is life. Unfortunately, Okidogi does not get to add too much to its kill count this week, but that's how it goes. But in comes Typhlosion, and the freest eruption in the history of time is clicked. Like, what is he going to go into? Delphox? Okay, you take so much damage from this thing. Goes into Adipose the Muck, so it takes rocks, that is quick eruption. Do about 35, so not bad. Obviously, I'm forced out, but it shows to not be Black Sludge. It also doesn't show to be AV based on that damage, so really, A ship is nice. So I just get kind of free combo here. I can take a hit. Santa doesn't mind losing his leftovers that much, and Shed Skin in case he poison touches me. A is gonna knock off. That's a good chunk showing that he's actually offensive Muck, like max attack, which I didn't really expect at all. I expected him to be a really fat set, like Fizz Def fat to take on Okidogi, because otherwise Okidogi kind of screws him over really badly. And now I know that I'm not holding an item anymore. He doesn't frighten me, so I can just quick coil. It is a really strong position because with the Quetzal dead, he does have a great way to break this. He really doesn't. In comes the Heracross, taking rocks, he'll take another round Flame Orb chip, and I'm going to coil here. And now he's around 70%, which is in range of Hurricane, unless he's like super fat, which we know he's not because he has spent my Okidogi. Well, actually, I guess Okidogi is running no speed, but still. He's just going to Trailblaze and do virtually nothing besides +1 defense, and then Hurricane's just going to knock this thing out. Which is a beautiful sight. We love Hurricane Anaconda around here. I mean, I was lost the inspiration for his G-Max form, which is one of the only good G-Max forms, by the way. Fuck G-Max, but G-Max Anaconda looks sick. And he is going to bring in the Delphox. Unfortunately for him, this is the last turn of Light Screen, which he seems to have forgotten about. So I live any hit, even like a Grass Knot. So just get Earthquake. He does reveal the Grass Knot, but because of... Actually, I lived that even without the Light Screen. It's very funny. I would have lived that roll on 10 without the Light Screen anyway, but even so, with the Light Screen up, I easily tank it, and Earthquake's going to knock it out through the Shuckleberry. Taking out the Delphox, leaving very little left that can actually break through Skarmory, which is really nice. Is going to come Mamoswine as a pretty free click here. I just sack this. I'm pretty low. There's no reason to really keep it alive. I guess it could help with Muck, but I have our things from Muck for later, so I'm not too worried about it. Actually, in hindsight, I probably should have kept this alive because Muck and Empoleon are both around, and this thing outspeeds both of them. Seriously, I should have just gone hard Skarmory here, but I don't know. So Sanacon does go down, takes us Crash, gets knocked out, but picking up 2 kills in this game is pretty good. Yeah, I definitely should have kept it alive, but hindsight is hindsight. Yeah, I'm just going to go Skarmory here because, like, I don't care what this thing does. It's a Mamoswine into a Skarmory, like, what's it going to do? I'm just going to bypass here. Pretty sure. Yeah. Bypass as much as I can. Good Icicle Crash. Does about 30, a little less than 30%. Actually, almost than, yeah, about 30%. And I get my lefties, and I'm pretty sure just bypass again. Because I'm not in range of 2, so I don't need to roost yet. Yeah. He's going to crash again. This time he's going to get the flinch, which means I do have to roost on the next one. Which is annoying, but it's not the end of the world. But I do get the roost off, meaning I get him out of range of 2. And because none of his Urmels really frightening me, as long as I can keep Skarmory out of range of 2 Icicle Crashes, the game is pretty much over. So I'm going to quick bypass again here. Just go switch. Goes into the Muck, takes rocks, and I'm going to bypass it. I do get a crit, which puts him in Drill Peck range, and however, even though that's relevant, he revealed after the game to me that the only move he has to hit me is Fire Punch. That's like 25, so I don't think the crit really matters long term unless he gets a burn, and then I can't bypass through things. But realistically, outside of specifically a burn from Fire Punch, Skarmory always won this game, even without that crit. So Skarmory's going to take down Muck with that Drill Peck. And Mamoswine's going to come back in because obviously Impulse Wind does nothing to this. Going to take rocks again, and I'm just going to body press. And Skarmory's going to flinch, which is unfortunate, but not the end of the world, as I've been saying. Because I'm fine enough and healthy that I can, yeah, he just body press again. He's going to miss this one, which is unfortunate, but he will have needed the flinch for it to really matter. So, like, even if he gets the flinches, like, I just go Sneasel after and clean up the game, so, with low kick, so it doesn't really matter. So maybe it would have helped him with diff, but overall it doesn't affect much. Icicle Crash misses. Again, that's unfortunate. Yeah, but he would have needed to hit both and flinch the first ones, or the second one, I guess, so I really don't think it changed much in the end game. Sure, I will lucky up the crit and the Icicle Crash misses, but, like, the game was over already. It might have just gone down to a 3-0 instead of a 4-0. And in will come the Empoleon, and Bio Press knocks us out easily. So I'm just going to click it and finish off the game with Skarmory. And Skarmory, even though I haven't loved this season, really showing why I picked it round 2 with this performance. So a great job by Skarmory. This is a very quick game, very simple game. Nice clean 4-0 win. Obviously, we both got a crit, which was both pretty relevant because I OHKO'd the Clydeser and he was able to OHKO my Okidogi. So, yeah, we would like to clean our game. Every time Freedo and I play, there's hacks involved. If you saw my EDC Week 1 I posted a few months ago, that game was hacks to craziness on both sides. It favored him a little, but it was really hacky on both sides. So hopefully next time we play, we can get a really clean game, even though I think this was mostly clean. So on the season, this brings us up to 4-2 plus 8. Gets us back to the differential we lost to Aimel, which is awesome. And that puts us in a really good playoff position. One more win puts us in a really great spot. If we get 2 more, we are clinched for sure. And we might even get to pick our opponent. So next up is Week 7 versus Viz. I have also played that game. Not going to reveal the result, of course. But I'll let you know you're in for a banger with that one. So get excited for next week when that comes out. That's all I have to say. Have a great morning, afternoon, evening, or night, everyone. Thanks for checking me out. Have a great day.